Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today I want to talk about miking acoustic guitars. It is not often on this channel that I'm going to come right out and say what I'm about to say. This is the only way to do this right. What I'm about to show you. I've experimented for 35 years with all sorts of different microphones, placements, stand arrangements, all sorts of things. And what I'm about to show you is the way that I've come up with to capture small body acoustics, vintage acoustics, new acoustics, dreadnoughts, 12-string dreadnoughts, nylon string guitars, all of them. And I use this method that I'm about to describe, and it works every time. It's bulletproof. And so let's go through the right way to mic an acoustic guitar. First, you're going to need a stereo bar, which is this little device here. Screws onto your mic stand. They are inexpensive. I bought this one off Amazon. It is a Chinese one by Newer. There's no brand that you need to be beholden to. They cost about anywhere from $15 to $20. The stereo bar then holds the other key component, a couple of small diaphragm condenser mics. It can be any mic of your choosing. My particular set are Rode NT5s. They retail for $430. I'm a huge fan of these mics. Most expensive mics in my locker currently. They are a matched stereo pair. That's important too. So any set of matched stereo, small diaphragm, condenser microphones, and a stereo bar. You then plug them into your interface or into your preamps, and then go into your DAW or whatever means of recording that you're using. Now, once you have, I'm just tightening this up real quick, turn it back around, kind of have it sideways here. I hope, hopefully we'll get a decent look at things. So, once you have those pieces of equipment, the mics and the stereo bar, I personally position one mic about here on the neck, and I'm about 6 inches away from the neck, and I'm closer to about 9 to 10 inches, maybe a foot, depending on the volume of the guitar and the amount of air it moves, away from the sound hole. And then you get yourself in a comfortable seated position in front of your stereo bar, get the microphones lined up at the right height, and there you go. You go ahead. You should be able to capture a perfect performance using this setup. Now, here are the caveats, which are going to be no-brainers. Depending upon the nature of the instrument you're recording, you might want to shift. Sometimes you'll want to shift a little bit further back so that maybe you're not hitting directly out of the sound hole. I find with dreadnoughts with a lot of woof, I prefer to actually have this microphone on my right, a little bit closer to where the neck joins the body. I will then, alter this mic position to maybe get a little bit more in the middle of the neck rather than being that far up towards the headstock. And you get my drift with where I'm headed with all of this. Dependent upon the instrument and its tonal qualities, you may have to move around a little bit. You may want the mic to be a little further back or a little closer in. Maybe there's tonal preferences you just have. And the way that I guide myself, the beauty of it is everything is stable at this point. You've got your microphones are stable, they're easy to move, they're easy to maneuver. So what I do is I just let my ears guide me. What I notice sometimes is if I'm really digging in, I'm like, I better back off a little bit. You don't want to, when you're using a larger bodied instrument, you don't want to end up with a lot of woof or too much air hitting directly on the diaphragm of the mic, and you just move them around a little bit. But overall, this is the setup. This is how to record an acoustic guitar without driving yourself crazy, getting great results, and it's actually very simple. Your biggest, the biggest barrier in this setup is that, a matched pair of small diaphragm condensers can get expensive. But you don't have to go with the Rode NT5s. I know the AKG makes a set that's fairly a little bit more budget friendly than that, but it is what you need. You need these things if you're recording acoustic instruments on a regular basis. This is the way to do it. I have never found anything that comes close to the great results that this yields every time. And the beauty of it in the mix is that you've got your neck and your body, label them as such, and then blending those two together, you can, toss them across the stereo field. It gives you a lot of flexibility in your mix, and you will get a great recorded result. I promise you that. All right, like I said, I don't very often use the channel to promote an idea of mine or a method of mine that I say is kind of an absolute. This is probably as close as I get, is by using this kind of setup. I swear, it's worth it, it's worth the investment, and it's worth the time to set it up. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have made it this far, please smash that subscribe button for me. The channel's doing quite well. Shares, likes, and comments. Maybe you have a method that you think is better than this. And if you do, please share it. I love discussing these things, and we can all learn from each other as we go forward. All right, you take care, and we'll see you next time.